Alright guys, this is Van Kill Gaming here, back with another video to discuss the Persona based cast of BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. Today is September 14th, we're getting a new character revealed tomorrow on the 15th, and it's important for us to discuss the possibilities that can happen for us in this game. So, as of right now, we know that the BlazBlue characters will come from Central Fiction. The Under Night characters will come from the latest game, the Japanese arcade release, I think, and the Persona 4 characters will come, or the Persona characters will come for Persona 4 Arena. Now, while Ultimax is not confirmed to make an appearance, and neither is Persona 5, I still have those characters included on my list of characters I would want, because these characters not I would want, not characters I can guarantee will be in the game. So, with that in mind, let's just jump right into the list. You know, it's going to be a really good game. I'm really looking forward to it. But starting at number 10 on our list. Alright, we got Elizabeth. There she goes. Alright, so Elizabeth is one of those characters that's really important to the Persona lore. She's been around forever. She's super important to the story of Persona. Well, the overarching story of Persona at least. She's appeared in Persona 3, Arena Ultimax. She kind of has her own separate story from the Velvet Room characters after the ending of Persona 3. So, you know, I feel like she has a pretty high probability of being in the game. While I personally don't care too much for her character, I think that it would be nice to have her in there. It would be nice to see, you know, what she could do. Her combat style mostly relies on her using Thanatos for combos. Thanatos does a lot of the heavy lifting, while Elizabeth kind of does like moves that kind of pull the opponent back and forth between her and Thanatos. So like move you away, pull you back, and then Thanatos will do the heavy hitting and things like that. A lot of just juggling around, but more relying on Thanatos to do, you know, do the heavy lifting than her herself. She's very lax character, kind of laid back personality, if I must say so myself. You know, out of all the Velvet Room characters, though, I think I probably, well, see, the thing is they're not around yet, but Theo would have been cool. Margaret also would have been cool. The twins from Persona 5 would have been really interesting. Or maybe, you know, even that one character from Persona 5 that I'm not going to talk about, but, you know, if you play Persona 5 to the end, you know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, Elizabeth, she'd be a really interesting addition, I think. That's why she sits at our number 10 spot, just because I don't really care much about her, but I feel like her chances of getting in the game are pretty high. She plays very different from you, so, you know, and she's a pretty good representation of, you know, the Persona series and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to get her in there. Another thing I kind of want to talk about real quick was the whole idea of like how the Persona characters are gonna move in this game. Just because in the Persona series there's a lot of like wall-to-wall combos, which doesn't really exist in BlazBlue to the same extent. I would say there's a lot more like, you know, corner pressure and, you know, crazy overheads and things like that. But the whole like Persona, you can do combos that go from wall to wall to wall to wall, and you know. So let's get to our next character. So we got Akuma from Persona 5. Now the reason I think she's incredibly important is because she represents something I think now in modern video games, which is like the modern female, you know, protagonist, you could say, in video games. She's not the protagonist of Persona 5, but she's one of the, you know, playable characters. So it's important to cover her bases and what she's all about. While I feel like Yukiko could also make it into the game, I feel like An would just be more interesting because of how she fights. She uses a whip, which is something we haven't really seen in these action games before. Before, like, maybe we have, but not to this extent. I think the closest thing you could say is like maybe Axel from Guilty Gear or something like that. But I feel like Anna would just be like super unique because, you know, she has the persona and everything. It'd be nice to see how she moves and fights and stuff like that. I could see her like using Carmen to like, or using her whip to pull her opponents in, and then having Carmen deal out, you know, big damage like, you know, do some fire spells, I think, something like that. Maybe similar to how, you know, Elizabeth kind of does the bouncing back and forth as Dantos do the big hits. But An would probably be like a more like ranged character altogether, just trapping the opponent, zoning them out, you know, with the whip and, you know, carding fire spells and things like that. So that'd be really interesting for us to see in the game from her. Well, yeah, I really like all the Persona 5 characters, so she would be extra cool. Look at that. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Next character. Alright, so we're gonna jump straight into number 8, who is Futaba. Now, Futaba is one of the breakout characters from Persona 5, my personal favorite for a handful of reasons, which include, but is not limited to, the fact that her costume is probably my favorite in the game. She has a lot. She's a, you know, the support character, whatever, just like Rifei and Fuka from the previous games, but Rifei was playable in Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, I think, so it's not completely impossible that Futaba becomes playable if the Persona 5 characters were to make it into the game. So she would have a really unique combat style. Most of her stuff she does from inside her persona, although they gave Rifei a mic as a weapon, so I don't know, maybe Futaba's gonna have like a laptop or something that she just whacks opponents with, while she hops inside the UFO and they do combos together. I don't know, but she would be a really crazy, wacky character to see. There's all sorts of stuff that could essentially happen with her, so it'd just be interesting to see where they go with Futaba if they do put her in the game. She has a really tragic backstory though, which I don't know if the game will have a story mode or a story associated with it, but you know, she has that really shy interior thing going for her. So I don't know. Futaba's like one of those characters, like a lot of people like her because she's shy, she's cute, and you know, she's like the breakout character in the game. You know, she changes over time. The protagonist is supposed to break through to her and stuff. Everybody else kind of stays the same, but Futaba is the one that has like the biggest change, I guess you could say, throughout the story, in my personal opinion. I don't know, maybe you guys can comment down below, tell me what you guys think about who has the biggest change in the Persona 5 story, who changes the most over the course of the game. But yeah, in my opinion, it's straight up Futaba, but look at that. Yeah, there we go. Next character, it is our boy, the true Persona mascot, Teddy! So Teddy is a mainstay in the Persona series. He appears in a lot of artwork for just Persona-related content. Persona 4 has had so many spin-off games at this point that Teddy's been on the cover of a lot of stuff. While Jack Frost may be like the Shin Megami Tensei, you know, Shin Megami Tensei mascot for Persona series, that's definitely Teddy. So Teddy would be a really cool addition to the game. His fighting style is really wacky. He has a lot of goofy and funny animations. He does a lot of like, I guess you could say running up and down. Like his combos consist of him like going into the air and coming back down, and going into the air and coming back down, and then kind of bouncing the opponent around. He has like that running, the running air move where he kind of like runs on you and it does some damage. Keeps you like in a juggled state so you can come back to the ground and then perform another move to keep you in the air. He's just super wacky and super fun, and probably one of my favorite characters from Persona 4. The humor that he brings into the dark world that is the Persona 4 story was just really, you know, nice. In the original Persona 4 Arena, Teddy was the quote-unquote villain. If you played the game, you know what I mean. But it's nice to see. It would be nice to see Teddy in the game. If there's character interactions, like how does Teddy communicate with Jin? How does Teddy communicate with Ragna? You know, that would just be a super cool, like super funny to see, just because he's so wacky, you know. And I can imagine Ragna like, the hell? What's going on? And then Teddy's like, you know, just make some bear pun about how he's very sorry that he's gonna beat him up, and you know, does his thing. But yeah, Teddy he's crazy, man. He's crazy. He's super wacky. Although honestly, everybody in the Persona series, in Persona 4 Arena, is super wacky, because I think that's just how the game is designed. Teddy's extra wacky. You know, he has that He has that goof factor. He has everything going for him. So I think the likelihood of him getting into the game is pretty decent. You know, compared to some of the other characters, I think Teddy may have a higher chance than some, just because of his, you know, he was in Persona 4 Arena, the first one, I think. If I remember correctly, he was in the first one. And, you know, so if they're only doing Persona 4 Arena exclusive characters exclusively, I think Teddy has a pretty decent chance of making it in. So that's just my personal take on Teddy, what he's about, what he can do. Yeah, I really like him. I really do. This combo montage is freaking crazy. So a lot of the characters just have crazy combos, like 107 hits, doing all these crazy OTG resets and things like that. And Teddy's just insane. But now it's time to move on to our next character. So at number 6, we got the one and only, the true man, the Beefcake Emperor, Kanji Tatsumi. Okay, so Kanji's one of those characters that's like super, I won't say wacky, but he's not really, I wouldn't call it wacky, he's just insane and over the top. He's always yelling and screaming. He uses a chair as a folding chair as a weapon. Like, who does that, right? I mean, and he's for sure my personal favorite character in Persona 4. He has a really nice character arc going for him. He has the whole, like, struggling with his manliness, and, like, his, you know, mating desires, I guess you could say, who he wants to be with and stuff like that. While that wasn't specifically what interested me about him, it was more of the dilemma of, like, the who am I type thing. While that was a thing with almost everybody in Persona 5, I think Kanji was just the one that I personally thought was the most interesting to, you know, to watch and look at. You know, a guy who's essentially told he has to be this manly man, but he likes to knit and sew and stuff, and he does things that are outside the norm of, you know, being a manly man. But he's still cool, you know. He still has, like, his own swag and things like that. So I really appreciate, like, the character design and, you know, how Kanji is. He's the typical school delinquent, although, you know, he's really not that bad of a guy on the inside. He's kind of dumb. You know, he's not the smartest guy on the block, but, you know, he tries to help his friends and hang out with them whenever he gets a chance. If you haven't played Persona 4, look forward to the school camping trip. You'll see exactly what I mean. And if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Kanji's just one of those, he takes himself a little too seriously, but in a funny way. I really like it. His playstyle in these games specifically, he relies a lot on, like, doing, like, OTGs and stuff. Like, he'll bounce you off the ground really hard, and then he'll do, like, an air command grab, which is really nice. So, yeah, he's a really cool character. I really like the way he's designed and stuff. So, it'll be really cool to see exactly how the whole thing with Kanji goes. You know, maybe he'll get in the game. You know, if he was announced for BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle tomorrow on the 15th, I would go mad insane. Like, my pre-order for that game is going in, like, today. You know, but it will be really fun for me if he got in the game. But there are a couple other characters that I feel would play, or at least one other character that I feel would play really similar to Kanji. So I don't really know if Kanji would be the main fit for the game. Although this is, if he would be in if it was only Persona 4 Arena characters. That's how I feel. He could be in, and I would be really happy about that. While I wouldn't be happy about the Persona 4 Arena exclusivity, I would be happy about Kanji being in. Next character, Ryuji Sakamoto. Yeah, okay, so Ryuji is one of those characters that's kind of right there next to Kanji. He's crazy, his demeanor is he has a big attitude, and I think his chances of getting in the game kind of depend on what the game is going to be about. Are we going to get Persona 5 characters? Are we not? If not, then Ryuji's, you know, obviously not going to be in the game. If there's a possibility for Persona 5 characters, then it's going to be, you know, a breakdown of either Ryuji or Kanji. You know, they're too similar. Their character designs are really similar. You know, they're too similar for, I think, both of them to get into the game. They both have electricity-based attacks, and the color schemes for their personas are kind of similar too. So, just based on those facts, I don't think his chances of getting in would be too high if Kanji was also in the game. So, it's either or type situation. Ryuji probably has my favorite Persona 5 Awakening scene. So it'd be really cool to explore that. If there's like a story or something like that. And I'm wondering if we're gonna get Ultimate Personas or regular Personas. I mean, most of the previous Persona 4 Arena games, you know, have done regular Personas. I mean, in the trailer we see Yu Narukami with the regular Izanagi. So I don't think that should be too much of an issue because I really prefer Captain Kid over his other Persona. I can't remember what it's called, but I really like Captain Kid's design. So it's an even bet between Kanji and Ryuji, depending on what's possible for the game's roster. But yeah, I would like to see Ryuji. He'd be cool, you know. He'd be really nice. Next character. So if Yu Narukami is Ryu, if he's the Shoto, then Toru Adachi is the Akuma to Narukami's Ryu. He has like essentially the same persona except with different color scheme. It's called something else too. I can't remember what it's called, but his combos kind of rely on the same thing, although his basic combat style is not. He's focused a lot more on getting you with those status effects, while you know, with the status effects rather than Yu Narukami playing a bit different. Although both of their combos do rely on the back and forth between attack, persona attack, persona attack. So it's a lot more even than the rest of the cast. The rest of the cast is either one way or another way, and I feel like Adachi and Yu Narukami both kind of have that balance, but they just play differently. So I think Adachi's chances of getting into the game are pretty high. I personally don't really like him too much as a Persona 4 character. I thought he was kind of whatever, he was just there. Sorry for the spoiler, but I mean, you're obviously seeing him with a Persona, so, you know, he's the main antagonist in the game, and while, you know, the whole, like, him playing everybody was nice, I just thought his motives were kind of, there was no drive behind it, you know, and, like, while every villain doesn't have to have some super crazy, like, tragic backstory, I just felt like they could have done a little bit more with the way his character was written. So, I mean, that's just that in my opinion, you know, so. But, yeah, Adachi would be really fun in the game. I haven't played him too much in Persona 4 Arena. I haven't honestly played the game too much recently. I'm gonna get back into it, and Adachi will probably be one of the characters I look at, although Kanji's always gonna be my main, you know, so I can't really jump away from that too much. But, yeah, Adachi, and, you know, the difference between him and you is also, you know, Adachi uses a gun where you use the sword, but Adachi will, you know, pokes you with the gun and stuff, so it's not too much of a difference. It's just, you know, something aesthetic design-wise that also is, like, you know, kind of cool and stuff, so. Yeah, so aggressive, so crazy. Alright, number 3, our nuclear warhead, our favorite female hero from Persona 5, in my opinion, Makoto. She's like one of those characters who's like just inherently badass. Like, you know, while Chie is like the badass in Persona 4 because of like the whole, like, she's like a tomboy, she knows karate and kung fu and stuff or whatever. You know, Makoto doesn't have to lose her feminine side. They designed a character that doesn't have to be like not feminine, but can be tough. That's really cool in my opinion. That she's still, you know, she's still a girl, and she still, you know, worries about things, you know, that girls generally worry about, you know. But she's still tough. She can still kick butt, and her persona's a motorcycle. Like, what else could you possibly ask for in this game, you know? It'd be cool to see how her combos operate, like her driving back and forth and stuff on the motorcycle, doing some crazy combos. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And plus, she probably has one of the best costumes in Persona 5 as well. You know, her awakening's pretty dope. We're looking at it right now. You know, everybody's just amazed and stuff. So it should be a cool addition to the game. I'm really looking forward to how she's done, what she's like. So we'll see if she makes it into the game. any Persona 5 characters make it in. But I definitely would prefer Makoto over Chie. I think they would fight kind of similarly with the whole fist-to-fist thing. So let's get down to our number 2 character, the Jin to Yosuke's Ragna. To Yu Narukami's Ragna. Yosuke Hanamura. He I remember I talked about the balance before of the person to persona ratio in the combos, and I feel like Yosuke is on that whole opposite spectrum. He relies more on himself in combat and his mobility. I think Jiraiya kind of helps him, makes him more mobile and allows him to bounce the opponent around a little bit more. But he does a lot of the heavy lifting in the fighting, with the combos. Jiraiya comes into the supers, that's nice and everything, but Yosuke is the one that does a lot of the bouncing around the screen and the moving around. His combos are very bouncy, I guess you could say. He does a lot of, he's super mobile, does a lot of mobility, a lot of movement, kind of the opposite of, the Yu Narukami thing. While, Yu's also mobile in his own way, I feel like Yosuke is way more mobile than he is. While Yu is all about the bounce between him and his persona, Yosuke kind of uses his as a boost, like, he even has a super where, that increases his movement speed, I think, a little bit, and, the strength of his attack. But he does call Jiraiya to use super and stuff from time to time. If we're talking about Yosuke in the Persona story, he's a character that's kind of like, he's cool. He's cool. And I like that he kind of has his own like story. He's not like all the side characters have stories, but I feel like Yosuke is one of the ones I was more invested in. Like, Junpei was kind of, like, annoying at the beginning, and, Ryuji, he's cool, but, like, as the story gets explained, it just becomes a bit less and less interesting, I guess you could say. Like, there's this whole mystery around it, and once you figure out what happened, you're like, oh, okay, that's it, I guess. But Yosuke, like, he has the whole thing with the girl at the beginning of Persona 4, and then, dealing with his essential jealousy of the main character is a pretty big deal. It was a big drive for him in the story, and just how he behaves around the other characters. It's a pretty interesting scenario. While it's possible to date Chie in Persona 4, I feel like Yosuke is a better match than the protagonist for a handful of reasons. They get along better. Seems like Yosuke doesn't really care too much about like whether Chie is girly or not. I think he thinks she's cute. That's all that matters, I guess. Yosuke Chie shipper, it'd be cool, but yeah, he'd be nice in the game. I'll really look forward to it. Our fighting character, the number 1 man, the main man, the Joker himself, protagonist from Persona 5. Now, this character, if we can get anybody else on this list, I need the protagonist from Persona 5. Why? Because his character has just so much swag and style that it would be criminal for him not to be in the game. Like, he just exemplifies something about protagonists in video games that I don't think we've seen in a while. Like, while Persona G's character, I still had a bit too much of his own personality. He was too edgy and too dark, and it was all glum and stuff, I feel like the Persona, 5 character, he kind of has his own thing. And, like, the Persona 4 character had, like, almost no personality on his own. Like, his entire personality was what he defined it to be, and while that's good in some aspects, in certain other aspects, like when something happens and you expect your character to react a certain way, he doesn't, because there's so many possible ways he can react. So it's just easier to give him no reaction than to give him a specific one. And I feel like the Persona 5 character kind of breaks that mold. He while he is kind of neutral, like like the Persona character tend to be, protagonist tend to be, he does kind of have his own personality that you can kind of see under the layers. He enjoys being a phantom thief. He enjoys he likes the thrill of the battle, thrill of the kill. I feel like he's the one, openly in cutscenes that you see, like smiling and excited, and it shows, and it feels like that's a reflection of what the player feels when they play as a character. It's a new Persona game, new character, new vibe. The opening, the game is just designed beautifully. Everything's great about it. So you come in and he unlocks his persona, he starts smiling, and he's smiling with him because everything looks awesome, everything looks great. So he would, I feel like, be another, I guess you could say, Shoto warrior. Although the characters, there are no Shotos, no true Shotos in this game, but I feel like if you was the main character in the game, the Persona 4 Arena game, like, you know, the combat is kind of based around how they designed his character, and some characters lead in and out of his combat style, then I feel like the Persona 5 protagonist would be the same. He would be his, like, the Shoto, I guess, another Shoto you could say, but he would play really differently. I feel like, you know, he would still have the juggling between Arsene and himself, but, you know, his combos would just be different. Maybe he would have more of like an up-down thing, like he moves it in the air, he smacks you down, the Persona bounces you back up in the air, he smacks you back down. And, you know, there could be a nice juggling situation going, but just in a different way, you know. In a different way from Adachi and Yuga Akuma. So, you guys should expect to see. But, yeah, that's it for my list. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked that video, have any comments on the characters I picked, please comment, subscribe, like, you know, come back to my channel. We'll always be happy to have you. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm out.